Once upon a time, there was a boy named Eli. Eli loved trains. He collected toy trains, drew pictures of trains, and even dreamed of being a train driver one day. But most of all, Eli wished he could ride a train that could go somewhere magical, not just to the next town. One evening, after brushing his teeth, Eli looked out his window and gasped. On the hill behind his house, glowing tracks had appeared, sparkling with rainbow colors. And sitting on those tracks was a train unlike any other. Its engine was golden, its windows shone like stars, and steam puffed out in the shape of animals. A voice called, "All aboard the rainbow train! Tickets for dreamers only!" Eli's heart raced. He slipped on his shoes, ran outside, and climbed aboard. Inside, the train was bigger than any train he had ever seen. The seats floated, the walls shimmered like water, and the ceiling was a sky full of twinkling constellations. "Welcome," said the conductor, a tall man with a hat made of clouds. "This is no ordinary train. It travels to other worlds, places built from imagination. Each stop will show you something extraordinary. But remember, young traveler, the adventure depends on you." Eli grinned. "I'm ready." The train whistled, "Choo-choo!" and off they went, racing across the stars. The first stop was the Bubble Kingdom. When Eli stepped off the train, he found himself bouncing on giant bubbles. Everything floated, the houses, the trees, even the people. Children laughed as they bounced from one bubble to another. "Want to try?" asked a girl with bubble wings. Eli nodded and jumped. Boing! He bounced higher and higher, laughing until he was breathless. But then one bubble started to pop beneath him. "Oh no!" Eli shouted. The girl called, "Don't worry. In the Bubble Kingdom, you must trust your joy, laugh, and the bubbles will carry you." Eli laughed loudly, and whoosh! The bubble lifted him higher than ever. He learned his first lesson. Believe in joy, and it will carry you through. Back on the train, the next stop was the upside-down forest. Trees grew downward from the sky, their roots shining like chandeliers. Rivers flowed upward, carrying glowing fish that swam into the clouds. Eli met a talking owl wearing glasses. "Welcome, traveler. In this forest, things aren't what they seem. Sometimes you must look at the world in a different way." Eli tried walking upside down, and to his surprise, it worked. He laughed as he hung from the branches like a monkey. Soon he found a door hidden under a tree root. Inside, there was a treasure chest with glowing fruit. The owl said, "See? When you turn your perspective, you discover new treasures." Eli nodded. Lesson 2. Sometimes the world makes sense when you see it differently. The third stop was the Song City. Here, everything sang. The buildings hummed, the streets whistled, and even the fountains sang in harmony. Eli couldn't stop smiling. A group of children invited him to join their chorus. But when Eli opened his mouth to sing, he froze. "I'm not good at singing," he whispered. A little boy smiled and said, "It doesn't matter how you sound. Every voice is part of the music." So Eli sang. At first he was shy, but then he let his voice flow. To his surprise, the city grew brighter with every note he sang. The streets lit up, and the stars above sparkled in rhythm. Lesson 3. Your voice matters, even if it's small. The train roared again, faster and faster, until it reached the final stop, the Crystal Mountain. This mountain was the heart of all worlds. Its surface shone like glass, and inside were endless reflections, each showing a different world Eli had visited. The conductor appeared. "Eli, you've seen the land of bubbles, the upside-down forest, and the city of song. But now you must choose what to take back to your own world." Eli thought carefully. He remembered the joy of the bubbles, the new perspective of the forest, and the courage to sing in the city. He smiled. "I'll take them all, because together they make life magical." The mountain glowed, and suddenly Eli was lifted high into the air. Lights surrounded him, and whoosh, he was back in his bed. Morning sunlight streamed through his window. For a moment, Eli wondered if it had all been a dream. But then he noticed something, a golden train ticket lying on his pillow. It read, "For dreamers only, keep imagining." Eli smiled. He knew the rainbow train would always be waiting whenever he needed it, and from that day on, he carried joy, new perspectives, and courage in everything he did. The world becomes magical when you choose joy. Look at things in new ways and believe in your own voice.